announcement has been paid for by the
nOw.
Okay, there's me. And now, let's make sure they can hear you. Bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum bum bum. Boom. Now they can hear you for sure.
All right.
I fixed.
Hey, technical difficulties.
I fixed things. Yeah. Boom. Okay. We're here. We're gonna read.
The following announcement has been paid for by the
This is a war.
nOw.
Okay. Now we're good. Welcome back to the nOw podcast. I'm here as always with Trevor.
What up, people?
And we're going to be talking about the week in wrestling. Kind of 2 weeks in wrestling, but I don't
Mainly
know.
this week.
Yeah, after looking at it, I'm like, I'm probably just going to say stuff about this past week.
Can we
the following
just go back
announcement
and cover
has
all
been paid
out
for by the
Again.
Yeah.
That might be more enjoyable, but we would get called biased again.
That's all right. You know, people are allowed their opinions.
Period.
That's true. Very true. I don't know if the alert made a sound. Because I did not hear it. Why? Why must this be dumb? Why am I having technical difficulties tonight? Bound to happen every now and then.
We could talk about Dark Side of the Ring, how they brought up shit and people are getting in trouble for it now.
Filthy, dirty, disgusting,
Well,
brutal,
one person, Tommy Dreamer.
trash bag.
I don't think anything's happened to anybody else yet.
Yeah, nah, I mean, Ric Flair's getting the bulk of it, at least on social media. But we'll see.
I meant professionally, like Tommy got suspended, and Rick's not really with anybody, so.
Yeah, neither is Scott Hall, so that's not going to do too much for anybody. But yeah, we're going to be talking about this week in wrestling. First thing we're going to be talking about is Raw. And Raw is great for one reason and one reason alone, finally. And that is Big E has cashed in on Bobby Lashley, and he's become your new WWE champion, which is great. Everybody loves Big E. I don't think there's a single person in the world that hates Big E, so that's great.
Love Big E. Wish they had done this as a surprise. I know they did it to pop the ratings, and I understand ratings is what they want and need, so why they did it. But it would have been great if he would have just come out and did it. It would have been a huge pop from the audience. I mean, there was a big pop anyway because he did do what he said he was going to do. But
yeah,
a surprise pop would have just blown the roof off that place.
Yeah, definitely would have been. Something more spectacular, but with Monday Night Football happening, you kind of got to understand they were trying to pull ratings and the fact that they lost to AEW in the key demographic, which they did again this week, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, but yeah, Big E is great, so that's definitely the good.
Oh, for sure. For sure, that's the good. As you guys know, when it comes to the standard weeks, we kind of want to just get it over with pretty fast and not be on for 2 hours talking about some standard stuff that was going on in the week. So what we're beginning to do thank you for the host. Do you feel acknowledged now? Only Ty would get that one. So let's see. As far as the good, the good is Big E. Big E cashing in, becoming the WWE champion. That is good. Now,
Damian Priest and Jeff Hardy was good for Raw.
For Raw.
Not great. For Raw, yes.
The Ugly, I'm going to say, is another giant-ass tag match. We had the New Day, Mustafa Ali, Mansoor versus Mace, T-Bar, Omos, and AJ Styles. Just why? We just keep continuing to do this stuff, which nobody really likes that much. And then the Ugly, I'm going to go with Doudrop versus Eva Marie.
I'm going to go with the whole women's division, basically. I mean, the Charlotte and Bliss stuff isn't awful, but that doll, they didn't need another one of those.
It's a money grab.
The Doudrop stuff, obviously, or Eva Marie, awful.
And then Nikki versus Tamina. Yeah.
Baszler and Jax also.
Yeah, it was just
end it.
Yeah.
Just in that whole story. Get them a broke up. It's obviously that's where they're going.
You did get acknowledged, I pointed. But I also was more concerned that I couldn't hear it. Which I don't know if you guys can hear it. So let me know. But yeah, that was Raw.
I'm sure it'll be back, Ty. Bliss will use her powers and make it walk. It'll crab walk like Bray used to do, across the screen or something. Which I would probably laugh at. So, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Okay, so moving on to NXT. NXT, we got a little bit more to talk about because this was NXT 2.0. The recreation in the eyes of Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard.
And they don't let you forget this the whole night. It's 2.0. It's 2.0.
Yeah,
2.0.
It's 2.0. We get it. But this was more of a show that was Who Are You People? because there was a lot of people that we have never seen before that were just there. Really, like, just to open up the show, we had LA Knight. He had an impromptu match with Braun Breaker, who's Rick Steiner's son, but the WWE's keeping that from everybody. They don't want anybody to know.
It's the worst kept secret.
Worst kept secret, absolutely. But it also didn't make sense because LA Knight was going to be in the main event, the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Championship, and then you have him get squashed by this guy early in the night. So it just didn't make sense. Somebody else could have been in that spot.
They don't want to acknowledge Steiner, but then they were referenced him several, like at least one time, and I remember they said he was like a dog-faced gremlin.
Yeah.
Like, just say Rick Steiner's name. You should have gave him the Steiner, and let's get a Steiner Math 2.0 promo against Samoa Joe.
I'm down.
And Samoa Joe was not hurt. It's bullshit, and then he's going to probably get released, and I hate it.
Yeah, the rumor is that he is not actually injured. They just did not want him as a part of 2.0. So, yeah, take that as you will. Really, the NXT Championship wasn't a part of my good, bad, or ugly. NXT Champion is now Tommaso Ciampa.
I'm going to put that for good for me because I like Ciampa, and seeing him as the champ didn't hurt. I wanted Dunn or Knight or O'Reilly. I know O'Reilly didn't end up in the match. So
you wanted everybody besides Ciampa.
Just because they hadn't had it, but I'm not mad at Ciampa winning either because I like him. And ugly. Why was O'Reilly taken out? Are they just don't like him and they're going to release him? Is that what they're doing? So they just didn't want him in the match? Or are they going to actually make him like a chase for the title? Which then I wouldn't be so mad about. But at the time, O'Reilly not being in it.
Yeah, and who we did get was Von Wagner, which apparently he is a second-generation wrestler as well. Bull Buchanan, I believe, is his dad. I could be mistaken, but I want to say that's his dad, Bull Buchanan.
Why didn't you have that guy beat LA Knight and be like, oh, so Wilbur's going to put him in the match because he earned it earlier?
That would make a lot more sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say right now as my good. I mean, because the LA Knight Braun Breaker thing just didn't make sense to me. I thought it was dumb. Imperium versus two people that we really haven't seen. We've seen Josh Briggs, but we haven't seen Brooks Jensen. That was another. That's Bull Buchanan's son, Brooks Jensen. Okay, so I was wrong with that. But yeah, I didn't care too much about that. And then B-Fab versus Katrina Cortez. That is my ugly. That was not a good match. That was very sloppy. And her neck breaker finisher is terrible.
I guess you can put the good as the wedding. It was funny. It entertained. It wasn't like great. Yeah. Overall, the whole show was underwhelming. Still willing to give it more shot.
Yeah, I mean,
just like completely unwatchable. I know they got to build these new guys up.
We're gonna keep watching, and we're gonna keep talking about it.
The reaction when Dexter Lumis spoke was kind of funny, though.
That was great. Yeah,
when he choked the priest out.
The wedding actually going according to plan and had nobody interrupting it. That's pretty new. We haven't seen that before. So yeah. Let's see. Moving on though to AEW. So
that card coming next week.
Oh my god, that card looks so good next week. For Grand Slam. It is absolutely just loaded. But yeah, I mean, I would say that the good for that is just the...
Adam Cole.
Oh, hold on. I messed
Because it's
up.
Adam Cole.
1 second. This is the one I wanted. Okay. I clicked the wrong one. Yeah, Adam Cole is probably my good because he's, like you said, Adam Cole. And yeah.
And also in that match, I would put Ugly as Kazarian. He's the elite hunter and has almost no wins against the elite.
I don't think he has any wins besides against Brandon Cutler.
Yeah, and he's not elite. He's their stooge.
Yeah.
So you should have built him up with something, even if it was just like a fluke win or roll up against one of the Young Bucks or something.
Yeah.
One of them in a singles match. Because, okay, they're tag guys, but he lost in a singles match.
Yeah, and I mean Adam Cole's he looked really good. His pop was nice. His Adam Cole bebe was extremely loud. And then in the match he actually looked like Adam Cole, so it was nice to see. Hit the Panama Sunrise, so he's still using that. He's still using the knee to the back of the head that he's been using. So it's nice. We still have the Adam Cole that we know. He's just in a different company. So yeah, that's the good for me. The ugly for me is Dan Lambert always coming because I don't care. I get it, but no, unless you're going to give us Junior Dos Santos, Andre Orlovsky, Paige Van Zant, or any of those UFC people in AEW to actually see action, then maybe. But he's just talking to talk and hype up the men of the year, and I don't really care for it. He gets good heat, which is cool and everything, but it is what it is. Yeah, and my bad, if I had to put anything down as the bad, I personally think that the worst thing of the night was probably John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston versus the 2.0, just because we've seen it multiple times and it really didn't do anything. It really didn't do anything for me. It was just for them to build their momentum back up so they could go ahead and face Suzuki and Archer. So that's really all that was. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But I did love Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega with their verbal exchange of words. Jade Cargill and Layla Hirsch actually had a decent match, so that was nice. Another ugly, I guess, is Powerhouse Hobbs trying to put Punk through a table, but the table wouldn't break. But other than that, I mean, we had a nice little segment with Cody Rhodes returning. Hopefully he does not get the win versus Malachi Black, but he is a draw, and we all know he's a draw, and if you beat Cody Rhodes, it means something. So we'll see, because that match is coming up on Wednesday at Grand Slam.
I like the MJF stuff, but he's always money on the mic. He's funny.
Gravity well.
Jumps off the biggest dick heel that you want to hate. I mean, others hate him. I love him, so. What's up, Gravity Well? Come to listen to our biased commentary?
True. Yes, Ty, we're aware of this. We talked about it already. Thank you, though. But I do like seeing Dante Martin in the ring. It was against FTR, and they didn't get the win, but Dante Martin looks extremely good every single time he's in the ring. He's definitely one of the next big rising stars, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But he fits the mold extremely well. Okay. You got anything else for AEW? Besides,
I think we covered it all.
this Grand Slam card. And I'm going to go over that card as well. So, right now, we are looking at Bryan versus Kenny Omega. Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. We are looking at... Oh, why is my control... Okay. Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson. It is a non-title match, so take it with a grain of salt. It's still going to be a great match, though. Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. Sting and Darby versus FTR. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus Suzuki and Archer. Britt Baker versus Ruby for the AEW Women's Championship. And then MJF versus Brian Pillman. That is a stacked card. Very stacked card.
Do you think they actually take the belt off Britt?
No.
I didn't.
Not this early.
I'm thinking she's going to get disqualified with one of her two people. Reba, Rebel, whatever, or Hater interfering, causing a DQ.
Possibly.
So Ruby still gets the win, but she doesn't get the belt.
Yeah, and I mean,
haven't had too many. I can't remember a disqualification, so it wouldn't be like the worst thing.
No, we haven't had really any disqualifications in championship matches, which is... Or
they could go
refreshing.
The time limit draw, because they haven't done that in a while also. And all their matches have a time limit on.
20 minutes.
So
so they could easily
There are
do that.
ways around this and make neither one.
But 20 minutes, it's a long time when you have a card this big as well. So I guess... We'll see. I'm hoping that Britt just gets a clean win over in a really good match. I hope, but realistically, I think Ruby is somebody that can put Britt over and then work herself in some stories, and then come back when Britt's not the champion anymore. It's just not the time. And I get you don't want to have somebody new lose this fast, but you kind of got to at this point. Just like Bryan or Bryan Danielson, you can't have him lose this necessarily. But that's one I see them having a DQ for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to Smackdown. Okay, so the good with this was Big E coming out and going face to face with Roman. I thought this was a nice little touch, getting us ready as well for the draft, which has been announced for October 1st. Myself and Tyron will be there.
Woo!
Yeah, we're going to be there for the draft, so that'll be cool.
Front row?
We will be front row. Not front row at the guardrail, though. Front row of the first section.
Cam side? So we'll be able to see you?
Yes, it is cam side. You'll have to look a little bit, but you'll be able to see us.
You guys are taking a NOW podcast sign, right?
I'm not a sign guy, man. I don't know. I've never been a sign guy.
Let's get the creative god to make a sign.
Ty also told me he does not want to be a sign guy. Especially in the front row, blocking everybody else's view.
You can hold it up just once.
Big E also got my bad, though. Because I didn't think that... Okay, so Finn Balor and Big E defeated the Usos, which means that Big E and Finn Balor are going to get a tag team championship match against the Usos. It just doesn't make sense for me. And then now on Monday, it's going to be the New Day versus the Bloodline that they really didn't throw much storyline into. I don't know. It's just not for me. I wasn't a big fan of it.
The women's stuff again.
Another good for me is Seth Rollins' promo. Seth Rollins' promo was great. I heavily enjoyed that. Yes, the ugly would be the female stuff that happened.
And it's not that they're bad wrestlers. It's just the story. There's either no story or it's just bad story, and that's all they're giving them.
Yeah, Carmella's holding of the face and crying for that long. It went on way too long.
Obviously, Eva Marie is a bad wrestler, but the rest of them are at least decent to good. I mean, not Naya. She hurts so many people, but she's not awful. She's not Eva Marie, but a lot of them are really decent in the ring. Just give them some storyline.
New Day versus Bloodline doesn't make any sense. They haven't built it at all, and New Day hasn't really been a thing.
The NAW Universe Nerd Acumen Wrestling.
I mean, yes, they sometimes mention each other, but they really haven't been a thing on TV in a year. They came out and said, "Congrats," but that's been it for over a year now, since the last draft, where Big E got sent over to SmackDown.
I mean, they've done a couple things on pay-per-views together, not often, but
yeah, some backstage things here and there, like little things. But even like the merch stuff, that's only been Xavier Woods and Kofi that have been doing them together. I don't know if you've noticed that, but yeah, I mean, they do have a podcast together and everything, but I don't know. I feel like that deserves more build. It deserves more build. Like, those are two really good teams, and I would have loved to see like the New Day do something to interject themselves into this, instead of it being Finn Balor, which made no sense to me.
bad for me is also Zayn and Dominic again. We've seen this one a few times.
And we've seen it a couple times, and then Ray getting pissed off that Dominic lost. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get Dominic versus Ray. I don't care too much about that, though, if we're being honest.
Oh.
Yeah, not a... Let's see.
I think Becky's been taking advice from Seth on her like wardrobe.
Possibly. Wasn't she wearing her Kill Bill stuff this week?
Yeah.
She wore that a long time ago. I remember her wearing it a couple years ago, that Kill Bill jumpsuit thing. Oh, no, this time it wasn't the jumpsuit. She's worn the jumpsuit before. This was the jacket. Those yellow sunglasses are bright. Big bright. Yeah, she probably is getting a little help from the drip god for the sense of fashion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the week in wrestling.
No, we got Rampage.
We do have Rampage. Wasn't a ton on Rampage. If you want to go over it really quick, we can.
We got some story from the women that didn't involve the title. It wasn't great,
I mean,
but it was something.
We had a promo between Britt Baker and Ruby.
Yeah,
that
I meant
was pretty good.
the Bunny versus Anna Jay. So
yeah, I mean,
at least they're trying to do something with the women that isn't just, hey, look, they got a title and this person's going after it this week.
Yeah, I mean, so we had the Lucha Bros versus Butcher and the Blade for the Tag Team Championships, which was a decent match. There was nothing wrong with the match. Lucha Brothers do win, but this is leading more towards... it's looking like Santana and Ortiz versus the Lucha Bros. They come down and make the save for him when HFO comes down to attack them. We did have the Bunny and Anna Jay, which was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of Rampage this week, if we're being honest. And then we had Miro versus Fuego del Sol. Fuego is an uncut gem that not many people know about, so it's good to see him because we've really only seen him on Dark and Evolution. So it's been nice to see. Sorry, I was reading. Yeah, it's been nice to see him out there. But this was more to give us Sammy Guevara coming out and making the save. And pretty much announcing he's next in line for Miro, which I'm happy about. I'm a huge Sammy Guevara fan. I think he's one of the next big stars. Ty, you're hearing that because that's kind of what happened on Friday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That should be a great match. I don't think Sammy will win, but they could pull.
They could swerve.
Surprise.
They could swerve on us because
like Sammy is going to be a big star,
and Tony is high on him. Tony's high on three young stars, or four, which is MJF, it's Sammy Guevara, it's Jungle Boy, and it's Darby. So yeah, I mean, Sammy sneaking a win here, good. It could happen. If he does win, we need to kind of set up separating him from the inner circle a little bit, just so he doesn't get drowned out by the potential of Jericho. But Jericho's going on. He's going on tour soon, so he's not going to be around as much. So they probably need to separate that just a little bit, which I think this is kind of what they were doing with making Sammy come out and save his real-life friend that he does his vlogs with, Fuego del Sol. People that... I mean, AEW is for marks. Let's be honest. That's what everybody says. So, they do a lot of homages to being the elite and the vlogs. So, if you watch the vlogs, you know that Sammy Guevara makes sense to come out and save Fuego del Sol. If you don't watch the vlogs, it wouldn't make any sense to you whatsoever. But that's just kind of how AEW does things. They know that they have a more passionate fan base than most.
Yeah. I don't really watch him, but they've mentioned a few times that Sammy's his friend. I mean, he brought the contract out for him and everything.
Yeah, he did bring the contract and the cake.
They do post stuff on the AEW Facebook that I see videos sometimes of.
Yeah,
so I have seen some of the stuff.
Yeah, so that's Mark E. W. Okay. I mean, Mark doesn't sound like A very well. You could have done better. But that's it. That's the week in wrestling now. The only other thing to say is that Christian Cage retained his Impact Championship, and Josh Alexander, the X Division champion, he called Option C, which Option C means instead of him losing his championship, he's cashing in his championship for a one-on-one match with Christian Cage at the next pay-per-view. So we will have Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage, which realistically this is probably the way to give Josh Alexander that title finally. He deserves it. He's a great wrestler. You got anything?
It probably should have an Impact wrestler finally win the belt after the last two have been AEW guys. Yeah. You need to take your title back eventually. I mean, it elevates it some, but then it also makes your guys look weak because two non-Impact guys. Yeah, and I mean, I get the Forbidden Door and everything, but and we all know AEW is the top company that's in the Forbidden Door. So, but you know, you were getting your title some eyes when Kenny Omega had it, but that time's kind of played out now. They played the story to change it over and give it to Christian, which makes sense because he was amazing in Impact. He really made
he's separated
Following
himself
announcement
from
has
other
been paid
people
for by the
being in Impact. So that's good. So yeah, I'd like to see Josh Alexander win. When that match happens, we're gonna let you guys know what happens in that. So, yeah, that's it though. That's all we got. We stuck around for 40 minutes. That's kind of where we want this to be. So we're not dragging it out for an hour and a half, 2 hours about stuff that didn't really matter. We hit on the stuff that did matter, and we're happy with that.
We have big shows next week to talk about, so it should be better because
Yeah.
you got the New Day versus the Bloodline on Raw, then the whole AEW Dynamite card. There's other matches on Raw that look decent. They're trying to pop stuff in.
That 5 hours was 5 different podcasts that you were here for 10 minutes of. So don't you start. That was an hour apiece. We varied anywhere between 50 minutes and an hour, and I think 12 was the longest one. So that's really good. We did 5 different podcasts. 5 in 5 hours. So that's pretty good. And then you got upset we didn't acknowledge you, and you left. Ty was here for all of them.
I was here for first 3. I had to get sleep though.
Yeah, you left around what, 11:30? 11:30? We went until 1. Rated, you weren't disrespected. Just because they didn't freak out when you came in doesn't mean anything. You ain't special, boy. You just a normal viewer. I appreciate Trevor for being the only one to acknowledge me. He was just trolling. He wasn't being serious.
It does seem like something I would do.
It does seem like something he would do. He's about to leave again because I'm targeting him now. All right, movie is done. What's everyone doing? We're wrapping up the podcast, man. Yeah, we just did the weekend wrestling. We said hi too. Stop you crying. Gravity rated as crying because you didn't say hi to him last night. And that's why he was only around for 5 minutes for the 5 hours of streaming. Yeah. And I should get a 15-yard penalty. But
there's no targeting in wrestling.
That's true. That's true. We give these illegal shots to the head all the time. Yeah, but my plan now is to go ahead and watch some foosball because the Ravens are on. Ready to watch them be 0-2. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Even though they're tied right now, 7-7 or 14-7 now.
I'm guessing the Lions are 0-2. I didn't even look to see if they were even playing today.
The Lions?
Yeah.
They play tomorrow.
Oh, do they? They actually have a Monday night game?
Yeah, they play the Packers.
Oh. I mean, they have a chance in that because the Packers aren't very good either.
Packers.
I mean, they'll find a way to lose, but
yeah, I mean, you got the Packers, and then the following week you have the Ravens. So, you can count it as a loss, though. I mean, I've been saying they were going to be 0-2 for a week now, especially after we lost another person in the secondary to a torn meniscus just 3 days ago. So, it is what it is. Debatable. The Packers play how they played last week? Probably not. Packers were awful last week. Nobody cares about the Rams. Not a single person. Not a single person on this planet. They can't even fill out their own stadium. St. Louis didn't care about them. That's why they had to leave. Oh, we can sell out a stadium though. So, but yeah, Nerds of Football. I'm sure he did. And he's probably running for his life right now because the line can't block. But yeah, hey, I care about them now out of spite of you. The Ravens? Oh, yeah, you should. You live in the city. Yeah. Reddit hasn't seen a Super Bowl, though, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, that's it. We steered off the deep end for about 2 minutes there, but we're back. Yeah. Trevor, you got anything to say before we wrap up?
No, just thanks everybody for coming out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Yeah, but you don't remember 2001. Let's be honest. You don't remember that. Maybe very small. Very small. Nah, you don't remember, bro. You don't remember. I had one in 2000 and one in 2012. I'm good. I'm good. For the rest of my life, I'm good. I got to go to two parades. Be there in the city during the parades. So, I'm fine with that. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up, coming out for this fairly short edition. Hopefully this is how we keep it, unless there's specials going on. But yeah, again, thank you guys for coming out. Stay tuned for everything else we got in store for the rest of the week. You showed up at the very end. Thank you, Rated. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Until next time, we will talk to you later. Peace.
The following announcement has been paid for by the